Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Bubbleknight here. Welcome back to the letter part 16, 17, one of those. Anyways, we last left out with Rebecca being stoked by this little kid who has the face of the evil clown. But everything seems to be normal now. Except for the girl in the restroom still crying. We never figure out where the noise is coming from. So, let's just get on the story. No anger, no vile hatred in them, just plain sincere concern. Bit by bit, I become aware of my surroundings and myself as warm, steady slipped back to me. I reach out for a nearby counter, steady myself at some point, but my knuckles have gone white from how rigid my grip is on it. It's over now, yet the tension hasn't left my body. My heart still hammers hard against my chest in an erratic rhythm. My breathing still comes in short, shallow bursts. Before me, Kylie fumbles with her hand, utterly unsure what to do to an adult, in what's probably a laughable state.
Did you get sick? I'll call Tio, okay? Just stay here and don't move.
Go ahead, tell her to come in the girl restroom.
No need. Just leave me alone.
Tio will know how to fix you. Oh wait, okay?
I wish I could speak as short to her, but I can't shake it off. The dread is there, twisting at my inside in anticipation. Of what? I'm no longer sure. Pushing myself off the counter, I break out to a run, brushing out the anxious looks Kylie gives me, while I gently push it away on my way out on the furrow in Luke's brows when I stumble into him outside. Whatever they both saw in my face, I cared not to know. Bloody hell, I don't even understand what's going on anymore. The tremors continue long after my last class have ended. Although none of my students have commented on it, I've caught a few shared anxiety glances every time a pen slips from my hand or my shoulder tense whenever it's called. How unusual it must be for them to see the normal, composed Miss Gale become a bundle of nerves. Even the most boisterous ones have given me less grief today. You'd think being on my fourth cup of tea will provide some sort of comfort. Or is it the fifth? God, what does counting matters now? The fact I can't easily shake it off this time should tell me something. The last time this happened, I passed it off as some lapse in my part, after having been sick the week before.
And it is a natural conclusion.
Those are just stories, a century-old lore passed by the locals to keep children in line. What place doesn't those have? One of my dad's book even went as far as described them as a strong part of Isabel's culture. Trees, giants, women who feed an unborn child straight from the mother's womb. Or hell, there's even one story about a demon baby. Jeez. Our folklore that never happened to a smidge of truth in it. Most probably told to scare off the natives back in the old days, much like every other one in every other place. The world's more universal than people care to think. But looking at it from where I'm standing now, after staring right into the eyes of that woman, after all the things I've been hearing and feeling, perhaps, there's really more to the bloody letter than some awful howling prank.
Perhaps Isabella's right all along.
A terrible thing if true, though that doesn't linger long, thankfully. Soon the ring of my mobile takes my attention away from it. An unfamiliar name flashes before me once the screen lights up and my brows knit together. Marianne McCullough. Staring hard at the screen, I try to remember when I entered this person on my contract list. It takes a moment, but when it clicks, my eyes zero on the book laying wide open on my table. Loaned out from the library almost a week ago, I met the woman there by sheer coincidence. A fellow history buff, apparently. We were after the same book, but at the end she gave it to me, on the condition that I call her once I'm done. To be honest, I completely forgot about it until now, and, well, I haven't really taken a peek at it until today. Normally, I'll be done with the whole volume of this size in a few days after taking it out. About 1 or 2, depends on how busy I am. But finding a chance to sit down and read through Read through it has been more difficult lately than I anticipated. One moment I'm busy simply grading worksheets, until the movie premiere the next. Then someone suddenly invite me out for a reason or another. Days later, a friend stopped showing up in her flat. Right after worrying reports pop up in the local news, there simply isn't enough time to breathe and to get a grip on things. I have been flipping through the pages of the said book moments ago, but never really reading anything and merely hoping for distraction. To no avail. My phone gives out another ring, and this time I do not hesitate to answer.
Marianne?
Hello! Here I was starting to wonder if it was a bad time to call. Is it?
No, not at all. I dismissed my last class a few minutes ago. I'm pretty much free for the rest of the afternoon. Unless something comes up. Is this about last time? The book?
Not really. I was hoping to ask you about some other thing.
Oh, sure. What about?
You grew up in this city, didn't you?
It's a peculiar question to ask anyone someone just met, but I answer her nevertheless. I'm more curious where she's heading with this by the start of that.
Born and raised, third-generation migrant. Why do you ask?
So, you must be familiar with the local lore. The, stories?
Quite. If I'm going to teach about history, I'd like to think I am, yeah? But a family friend would be a better person to ask. If you want, I can contact him for you.
No. Let's just keep this thing between us, okay? It's nothing too big. Alright. I really don't know how else to put this without sounding a bit crazy. But things have been really, odd. Do you remember the mansion I mentioned back when we met? My current project?
In hindsight, I should have expected it will lead to this. She must not have lived here long, if she's just asking about this now. It didn't take a week with Isabella when she arrived, but that's Isabella, superstitious down to the last hair. Though it won't be too far off to think Marianne only has started thinking about this stuff this recently. She's working on the damn house itself. I must admit, even I am curious now. Despite living here for so many years and having so many chances to look it up before.
The Ermengarde Mansion, yes?
Yes, that one. And, the thing is... Oh dear, this is a bad idea. You know what? Just forget I ever called you about this.
It must have been the sunny weather, but it's making me sick and seeing stupid things. Why can't you narrate this sentence? Seeing things?
No, wait. It's alright, I don't mind.
There's a moment of pause before she responds again. She's in that, and there's a silly thing to talk about, especially in between. What I assume two people who are pretty grounded on their beliefs with regards to these things. I won't blame her if she hesitates.
I can't believe I'm asking you about this.
Did you sleep with Luke?
It's fine. Why don't you just think of it as some form of research?
Well, alright. But after this, we're going to forget we ever had this talk.
My lips will be sealed. Now, what is it about the mansion?
Just, what do you know about it? The general gist. The place's past. What happened to the owners? Anything you can give me.
Let's see. To start off,
Well, this might be give us a background of the house itself. I do my best to give her a concise summary. From the time house was commissioned 400 years ago and who had built it, up to the point it got deserted right after the last heir's death, and the deed was passed down to Ermengarde's nearest relatives. Frankly, if it weren't for those urban legends persisting, the house would have been already faded into obscurity long ago. Demolished even. These are nothing but she probably hasn't heard before, yet there's dissatisfaction in her tone once I finish.
That's all there really is to it?
as far as I know. There's this little bit I forgot to mention about Lady Charlotte Ermengarde's death, but most of those are just theories. Aside from that, this is really everything we've been teaching all these years. Should there be anything more?
No mention of any other weird stuff? Other crazy stories? Or a letter of some sort?
My blood runs cold. Any warmth and comfort of tea I've drank has given me prior has instantly drained out of me. The phone creaks softly as my light hold on to it turns to a firm grip. The whole letter bullshit is starting to turn more than a coincidence.
None that I've heard or read of. What does a letter have to do with this?
Oh, no. It was just something I came across. Ignore it. Random thoughts, you know? By the way, I need to run. Thanks for answering my questions.
She ends her call abruptly with only a clipped goodbye, leaving my mind heavy with even more thoughts. The mood around my classroom has gone considerably dense, and alive with what little I've gleaned from that conversation. I don't think Marianne's lying about her intent. Her interest is genuine, I'll give her that, but she's left a lot of things out. I get the sense she's only asked because something's happened around her too. And if she hasn't mentioned the letter, I probably wouldn't have made the connection.
Just what the hell did we get ourselves into?
Why don't you write a letter and just pass out 5 people? Maybe we can survive. Of course, there's a lot of confused detail in this. All these are just assumptions. No concrete conclusion to be formed with what we have, and if we want to find out what we're really dealing with, I think Marianne's right. There might be something more to those stories. As absurd as it sounds, the very place that gave us the letter might tell us something beyond what we know. And tomorrow night, I have a few hours that chance at a housewarming party. Totally not exciting though. Throughout, was it though? Since the place is privately owned now, I can't just wander around. But it's enough reason to keep the dread at bay, as I step out of the room ready to put an end to this day. However, all those good vibes disappeared into thin air when I run head first into Luke. There's really something in this man. Regardless how much my opinion of him has changed over the span of a few hours, he simply blasts through every good impression people has of him, without care or thought. He doesn't even need to open his mouth. His mere presence does it. In all honesty, I think he's the kind of guy only a mother can love.
You're still here?
Obviously. Who do you think's standing in front of you?
An ass.
Oh, come on, Daisy, you've done better than that. Losing your touch?
Man.
Luke, I don't have time for this. I'm heading home, and your face is the last thing I want to see before I leave.
I'm starting to like Rebecca a lot more. She's like feisty little girl type.
What do you want?
Blatantly, I notice his hand. Part raised, almost poised for a knock. A slight lift of the elbow, he quickly drops his side and turns to Kylie. She's standing a few steps away from him, holding her hands behind her back and toying at something on the floor with the tip of her shoes. Then he proceeds to vaguely make a vague gesture at me and the child. He resembles a fishing flopping for air with the way he's moving his arms. Though I think he is trying to urge her to speak up.
Munchkin, I thought you wanted to tell her something.
You do it, Teal.
This wasn't my idea, darling.
Don't worry. I won't tell Tia what you told me the other day. And this morning.
Luke exhales, rolling his eye at the ceiling and maybe praying for the universe to grant him more patience. He knows the losing battle when he sees one. He may act worse than a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum at times, but he's no match for an actual kid. Nothing better than being served with a dose of his own medicine, huh? Once his frustration had been promptly let out, he points a rude finger at me. I do my best to stare out the offending digit down, but I can already hear the demand before it's even out his lips.
You, come with us.
Why?
What makes you think I will?
Because little Rugrat here is upset and worried, and it's your bloody fault. I've no idea what happened this morning, but if you don't come with us, I won't be hearing the end of it from her. So do me a favor, Daisy, and just be glad I'm inviting you.
You're asking for a favor, and you can't be bothered to be polite? I don't know. It's been a really busy day for me. I kind of miss my couch.
Daisy, you just say yes.
His pause follows, almost too dramatic. Afterwards, his fist twitches something in a grimace and a smile. As it happens, he's in a lot of physical pain. You think the man is getting a, what does that say? A nurse by simply being polite?
Please?
Tio said it'll be his treat.
What? I said no such thing, Munchkin. I only agreed to this because you requested it. I'm under no obligation to feed her.
I promise we'll be quiet the next time I visit.
Oh, alright, but just one meal and make it the cheapest.
He and Ashton will get along famously on that department. On a different front, the offer free dinner does sound enticing, however half-heartedly given it is. Mostly because Kylie has wisely put on her puppy eyes, and by the second, I find my owl choice slipping away from me.
See, Miss Pink? It'll be fun.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you should go with Kylie. She might turn to a demon child.
You don't have to feel sad anymore, okay?
Oh, well,
My mobile buzzed from my pocket. Counting in mid-sentence for a second, I'm spared from the act of giving an answer I'll regret either way. Fishing gadget out, I wave a hand at him, excuse myself, and the scrotal expressions on Luke's face before I turn away. I'll be lying if I say it didn't amuse me. He's eager to be done with this, as I am. But what can I do? Checking the message from Ashton shows up. Hey Becca, I'll be around so well this evening. Need to meet someone in the area. I might have to drop by yours and Isabella place after. See ya. Just the usual. Unlike what he does with Zachary, Ashton only has the decency to let us know when he's dropping by or he's in the area for some business. And from the way he's faced, it sounds to the lighter. Either way, I'm glad he's at least aware of that boundary. Not that Isabella is going to let him leave the building unscathed if he ever pulls the same stunt he does with the other man. I cringe to the image of what she would do to him. Okay. Sighing, I slipped the gadget back to my pocket, while looking up to see Luke's utterly impatient on his face. I now face a different dilemma. The two of them are still waiting, and knowing what kind of person Luke is, this is already a grand gesture of goodwill coming from him. All to please his godchild. His denial side, it's easy to tell he's really fond of Kylie from his action alone. I kinda hate to ruin that.
Well, Daisy, we're waiting here.
On the other hand, there is Ash. His message doesn't exactly imply he's going to wait, or he's expecting to be there, but they are matters I hope to discuss with him in person. To put it simply, housewarming party matters. With the invitation Isabel out of the question, I only have Zachary and Ashton. Although the former has already made it clear that he will be busy this week, and well, Ashton has been my first choice from the first start. Even he detests the attendance gathering like this. It's company that counts. We can be miserable together. But that's the problem, isn't it? He hates them. It's very likely his answer will be a flat no. I'd rather not hear that. If by some miracle he agrees to it, he'd probably be sulky the whole party. Not really a tough choice when you put it like that, still. Tough choice, but I have to pick one. Okay, cool. So, let's see. I'm going to save over here. Let's check our status meter. I know we're pretty good with Luke. We could do better with Ashton. Let's see if we say... Okay. Does nothing. This does nothing. Wait, hold on. Let me look at the timeline. Holy crap. So we're going over here. Other things to do. Dude, I might have got myself into like a really long string of things. Holy crap. Alright. This is really interesting. But what if... Alright. Okay, it's above that. Okay. Alright, with Luke all the way high. So... I really hope I don't make Rebecca sleep with Luke. Alright. In the end, it's my fondness for Kai that wins out. Chances are, I have to endure his presence for an hour or so. If that lasts more than that, I can make out an excuse. A sudden call from a friend or things to work on. It doesn't seem so bad when I think of the pros and cons at best. It'll be a quiet dinner at worst. It'll be an awkward affair that we're both eager to get rid of. I'm leaning more on the latter happening, hoping for a former, of course.
Okay, but only because Kylie asked.
Kylie's face instantly lights up. I might have made the wrong choice. Because we don't know what this Kylie is. From what we're seeing, she seems like a demon child. Shit. For the third time today, she tackled me the hub before pulling away and dragged me the hand towards the Billy's exit.
That's alright. I'm sure Tio doesn't mind. He let me pick where we're going to eat. Don't worry, it's just close.
Luke follows close behind, and perhaps out of some desire to keep the dead air away, I can't resist throwing in a grip.
Keep your distance. You better not do anything funny, you hear?
I'm the one who should keep my distance. May I remind you who approached me first and what you did right after?
Oh, I remember it clearly. But perhaps it's you who needs a reminder. You seem to have never learned your lesson. Care we give it another try? Maybe this time it'll stick.
Maybe this time it'll stick.
What? What was that?
You think you're scary? I'll show you what's scary.
To my surprise, his tone lacks the usual sardonic note in it. And briefly, I pause to stare at him. He quickly shuts his mouth right after it and walks ahead of us. I'll talk, no trouser like the usual. And for the better part of our walk, except for Kai's excited chatter, we don't speak. Somehow, I have the strange feeling I'm already getting used to this kind of banter with him. I'm not sure that's a good thing. Oh, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not sure this is good or bad. Amid of this newfound friendship, dare I call it that, Ashen's message lay forgotten and been in my pocket. Oh no. So do I need to raise Ashen's relationship further? Maybe? But what's done is done. If we screw up, I can always come back to it. So of all the places next to a school, Kylie picks the one waiting for food to be served. It's awkward as I imagined it would be. Not the bad sort though, the pleasant kind. Surprisingly looks an okay bloke when he tries. As long as you're willing to look past the tactless remarks that we're not exchanging acerbic quips. It's clear that he's making an effort for this to be as fun as possible for the 6-year-old by being chattier, even going as far as laughing when Kylie's story calls for it. It's an interesting thing to hear from the man. More than once, I catch his frequent cheesed off expression easing whenever he looks at a girl.
And your friend? Did you make up with her?
Yep. She said she just saw something she didn't like. She didn't accept the jellies, though. She told me to give it to you instead. She knows you like the red ones, too.
Very well. Hand it to me later. I'll bring some of them home. I think your Tia would love to have some.
What a terrible liar. He says that he disliked the idea of having children on his own, but he easily sees some part of him genuinely wants them. What's stopping him? Once Kylie wandered out to nearby bookshelves. After having lost interest in the conversation, however, we both revert back to silence. On our own, we have little to talk about, aside from a few questions about the other here and there. At one point, it does veer on local politics and history. He's surprisingly versed with it, that he can hold decent conversation without throwing a jib. Nothing too personal is ever mentioned so far, though it's too early for those. And besides, I don't like him enough to speak of any minute detail of my life. Better keep it strict between the science and the usual, and the casual repartee. This whole thing already looks and feels like wrong on so many levels. I'm quite sure he feels the same. So when another bout of silence hits us and becomes too much, I've taken to finding something else to occupy myself. Toying with my mobile, turning from hand to hand while we wait for our respective meals. But it'll be a complete lie if I say I'm waiting for some sort of intervention. Something pulls me away from this place. Someone. Ash is probably as Salem well by this time, working on whatever business he has there. Maybe if I make an excuse and leave now, I can still catch him?
Cut that out, it's distracting.
My hand still holding a gadget awkwardly between us. Arrested mid past his bored tone. He's been quiet for a long minute now, after complaining about how appealing the tea they're serving here is. Before that, he has whined about how uncomfortable his chair is and tasteless the decorations they have here. Previous to that, he has grieved about how dull the place is compared to the ones he frequently upper class side of the city. Well, I'm sorry for being a bunch of pheasant, your majesty. Figured he'd lose his patience soon. Having already bumbled about almost everything in his eye can reach. It's just unfortunate he's turned to me now.
Why don't you just look somewhere else?
I can't. If I turn elsewhere, I might end up looking at the bobfuck right behind us. Ooh.
What?
Bobfuck? Do I even want to ask?
I don't want to hear it. It's coming from his mouth. It can be only either rude or offensive. Regardless, he continues.
Everything looks good. But have you seen the face? True horror.
What is wrong with you? You know, I frown about this in practice, but that mouth needs to be washed out with a particularly potent soap. Preferably by your own mum.
A shame she isn't here,
For whatever reason, that puts an end to that talk right away. He returned to watching his godchild, who has found a particularly interesting picture book and is now poring over it while I turn back to my mobile. Still no message. Would it kill him to at least send a message? Check if I were home? Meanwhile, Luke's silence lasts all but 10 seconds.
What is it with the damn mobile? Are you on a curfew?
He's got a immature act down pat, I'll give him that. Seriously, how old is this guy? Has he somehow been deprived of affection during childhood?
And what is it to you? I don't think it's any of your business what I do with it.
It is my business, alright? 1, I'm the one paying here. 2, I'm being forced to eat dinner in a place this stuffed and noisy.
You should just get up and leave now.
Lastly, it's been 10 minutes, the food isn't here, and I'm hungry. What you're doing with the mobile is annoying and distracting, when the least you could do is keep things entertaining while I suffer.
What? I feel sorry for Hannah now. Damn, Luke.
That's your problem? Shouldn't you be more worried about how this entire affair looks to other people?
Oh, I didn't realize this was one. You move fast, Daisy. You could have informed me first, you know.
Oh boy.
Had I known, I would have taken you someplace nicer. Certainly the kind with better food and plenty of good wine.
Why did I ever think this was a good idea?
Yep. I think we picked the wrong choice, guys. I really do. I don't know why. I think we should raise Ashton's meter.
Did it ever occur to you how inappropriate this might look to everyone?
Why should I care? It's only inappropriate if you make it out to be. Relax. I won't do anything to make your boyfriend angry. He doesn't even need to know we dined out. It'll be our dirty little secret.
He's not my boyfriend.
The words came out more forced than what I've intended. By the time I realized my slip up, his lips are already spreading in a sneer. He'd slowly crawl up in my face.
Oh, so there is someone. You're so easy to read.
Briefly, his eyes search my face. I have no idea what he sees, nor do I care to know. But the exact second he barks out in a laugh, display his amusement without reserve to everyone within earshot. In that moment, I know I've flipped a switch in him somewhere. I've lost my chance to deny his assumptions. Do I even want to? Isn't the reason I've been so focused on my mobile, waiting for another message from him? For a reason to dump this awkward meeting to go after him?
Look how mottled you are. Now the nickname makes more sense. Shy Miss Pink and her cute little crush. The color suits you, by the way. It matches the hair.
It's not a crush.
Oh, come on, Rebecca. You can do better than that.
Denial. But in reality, you want him to be yours, and your every move is made to make him notice you. In fact, you don't want him to see you with another man in a non-professional capacity, because he might misinterpret it.
The same thing goes for you, doesn't it? Bloody, yours is even worse. What about your wife? Aren't you concerned she might misinterpret this?
Daisy, just because we tied the knot doesn't mean we have to be joined at the hip at every single opportunity.
Ah.
Don't be ridiculous. Why else would you marry her if you don't want to be with her for the rest of your lives?
Because, Daisy, she also has other things she can do with her life and friends to spend time with.
What?
Granted, I don't like some of them, and I have a few of my own she utterly dislikes. But wifey doesn't have to know my every move. Nor do I hers. Do you know how boring that would be? To be with the same person for all hours of the day, losing sleep over the mere fact they're not with you?
What?
Or putting everything you have aside to please them, to have your whole world revolve around one person.
That's called love, alright?
Aren't you just mistaking that for something else? Unlike you, there are other people here who don't share the same jaded outlook you have. Don't lump everyone together just because it didn't work out for you.
And you, my dear, are unexpectedly naive.
What's so naive about it? If you love each other, wouldn't you want to always see them, be with them, to have them focus solely on you? Maybe you haven't been loved enough.
Oh, it's that kind of thing for you, isn't it? The love is eternal, love is a strong emotion shite. A starry-eyed girl pining for a dashing Prince Charming.
I believe that. I believe love is eternal.
What's next? Romantic confessions of love? A grand wedding on the beach? Dozens of spawns running around in some picturesque home in the suburbs? How quaint. Are you also expecting it's going to be sunshine and rainbows after? A happily ever after? Please.
What? I never once said... And is all of that such a bad thing to hope for?
Woman, I've been married for 7 years, and I'm telling you, it's far from what you have in your pretty red head. Tell me, how long has this song and dance been going for you and your man? Maybe I am mistaken.
Averting my eyes for him is all I manage to do. What does his mere 7 years compare to the 17 I have with Ash? It's laughable he thinks those two things are even comparable. Ash and I may have never moved past the boundary of friendship, like what I'm hoping for years, but what we have isn't something anyone can scoff at. I've always been at his side, and doing everything with him. I know him better than anyone. No matter what this man, this complete stranger says, I know there always will be a place for me beside him. And yet...
Come on, Daisy, that shouldn't be too hard. 3, 5, 8, 10, 20.
His words easily see through my heart like sharp daggers, gradually picking apart everything I have been short of. Despite myself, the delved reserves of my defense crumpled right in front of my eyes. No wonder he sees through me. As I expected, he ridicules it. Restrained, low and rumbling, a sharp sound striking the air around us. Amidst the murmur of people, in the soft notes of music playing over our heads. His shoulders shake while his mirth became too much even for him. He reaches out for a hand and passes over his face, as to hold his glee close to him.
Lordy bullocks, this is just brilliant.
What the hell is a bullocks?
Oh, mother, why do I always keep running into these things? This day couldn't get any better. I think I'm gonna need a stiff drink after this.
He dissolved another pale laughter, but when he subsided, what he asked for me are more words, scattering each of them. The urge for me to run has never been this strong.
Is everything you said how you plan to act, if that man of yours ever ends up with you? Cling to him? Put him on a bloody pedestal? Let him become the center of your universe? Although with how long this seems to be going on, I think you've already done so. Marriage will just be icing on the top. Like some sort of reward for you, isn't it? For being a good, patient, loyal little girl all this time, never looking at another man.
It's called dedication, Luke. I think I should smack you if I ever see you in real life, alright?
He must have been having a grand time with someone pining over him this long. I'm a little envious, to be honest. Maybe also a little surprised he hasn't suffocated from all your attention yet.
Laugh all about it if you want. It's not like you'll ever understand.
Luke falls silent. The ridicule in his face is gone in an instant, and his eyes meets mine, sharp and imposing. A challenge, but I hold it against him with the same intensity, because there's something I won't let his opinion trampled on. It's this. What does he know? However, he's the first one to look away, focusing his eyes to where Kylie is, and for a moment I believe I've won, until he draws a breath and turns back to me. The words he dropped next, though hush, hang heavily in distance between us.
You're right. I won't. But I do know not to mistake love for obsession, woman. They are not the same thing.
It rattles. Out of everything he said, this is the one thing that twinges in my heart. Maybe it's the manner he delivers it. The lack of conceit in his composure will underlying insult in the tone he takes. The remark is not meant to cut, merely express a simple truth. This time it's him who holds the gaze against mine. Another unspoken challenge. I realize that if this happens minutes ago, I would already have an equal sincere retort at the tip of my tongue. There's none, but the anger's stare, wrinkly on my inside, prowling at the uncertainty I've long kept. Is it enough? We have long years we've been together. We have the memories whenever he needs me, until other people came between us. I've always been there, the one there. The dedication and loyalty should mean something, shouldn't it? I've always been short of it, and that one day he'll see it for what it is. In spite of that, his minute under this means scrutiny, my own heart wavers. Okay. No, struggle to find words. Damn. Alright, so damn. I don't need to insert that. Oh my god. I'm like, okay, hold on. I want to say, okay. Okay, so it sort of dropped and nothing. Oh no. Alright, so damn. I might go back and do the other thing, see if we can raise but this relationship status, man. Let's see our tree branching. Where are we at? Damn. Okay. So there's more to it. This artist doesn't need to hear about neither is entitled to them just because he dished out some profound sound life wisdom no one asked for. So I look away, hoping my own silence will be enough for an answer for him. It is for a moment. Until now, furious tears perkle behind my eyes, staying begging for release, along with every other frustration this dumb talk has built up in me. All because of this man. I hate him. I hate the fact he has to be the one to see me in this sorry state. I made Rebecca cry, damn it. I'm already expecting another bar from him, but when his expression shifts, except he panics. In the span of 3 seconds, his expression changes from indifferent to concern to utter panic. It would have probably been funny if I were so irritated by the sight of this Glade kid bastard.
Hey, are you crying? Are you going to cry? Stop that right now, woman.
Will you shut up?
This is kind of funny in a way. He clams up almost before I can finish. Whether this is due to sun and force in my voice or how I look, I pretend not to think of it. He seems like a deer caught in headlights with the way he's making himself smelled in his seat. But I'm still pissed. I'm tired. If I can punch him, I can at least scream at him.
You're an annoying bag of dick, you know that? If I hear another word from you, I'm sewing that bloody mouth shut myself.
It does do the trick. Not to the effect I hope for, but the moment I snap at him, the sting on my back of my eyes melts away, and a strange calm overcomes me. A fragile thing when found in the middle of the busy coffee shop. Nevertheless, it's appreciated considering it does last. Immediately broken by the very person that puts me in this state with a few awkward pats to my shoulder. Done twice, thrice, and another, up until my patience runs out again. I'm pulling out the book from my bag, raising it threateningly over his head. And it will surely dent his skull if I slam down at this height. Part of me wants to see that, but I restrain myself. He has good sense to recoil, though. Surely he shrink back to his seat and wave his hand in front of him like a gesture of surrender.
Watch that book, woman! I already warned you about your little threats. You don't want to see my brand of angry!
Then keep your hands to yourself!
Alright, that's it. People these days, I swear you treat them nicely, and this is where it gets me.
You're the last person I'd ever want to comfort me, even if we're the only two remaining people on Earth. Don't flatter yourself.
Okay, have it your way, Daisy.
And stop calling me Daisy! I have a name, you know!
He mutters something inaudible under his breath, although afterwards he doesn't say anything further. For the next minute, he simply contented himself with making a mess out of the paper napkins, folding them into clean shapes without any clear intent, before cramming them in his hand when he loses interest and dumping them in the small pile in front of him. A waiter serves our meal soon enough, and Kylie makes her way back to our table. Before I can take a single bite, he murmurs something. The words I spoke in the same tone he's used this morning, all under his breath, whenever the honest part of him was show. Despite my rather confusing opinion of this man, I stop short of shoveling food in my mouth and to look at him. His eyes on his food as he speaks, busying himself with a cutting portion of the meat on his plate. But what comes out here only rings true against my ears, above the din of the coffee house.
For what it's worth, Rebecca, I didn't ever think that's all there is to you. Why else would I leave my own goddaughter in your care if you're just some lovesick woman?
He spares a piece of his food into his mouth, and that's it. But the whole day with this man, I still can't figure out what his deal is. But for whatever it was worth as well, I don't think he's entirely bad guy. The rest of the meal slips in silence afterwards. Aside from Kai's occasional chatter, the whole dinner goes by without another word exchanged between the two of us. Somehow we manage to make it through the whole thing without triggering another tension-riddled conversation. A good thing, perhaps. One, because Kai is sitting in front of us, and two, I probably won't be able to hold a proper conversation with my mind heavy with thoughts. We depart from the coffee house just as the evening crowd starts to thin out. The same wordless silence fill our short walk back to school, except for when Luke gestured my near flower shop and entered without waiting for Kai and I. He emerges minutes later, carrying a bouquet of daffodils with the same softened expression back his face. Unlike previous ones, he tucked it away at most as soon as he looked up at us, a moment he's not willing to share. At my confusion, he merely answered with a shrug and continues walking.
For someone important.
I accepted what it is, if only because he doesn't owe me an explanation. It does leave more than a question about him. Each one is baffling as the previous ones. What? Are they actually dating? Did I make them date? No. Those are the last words spoken in this meeting before I head our own ways. Up until now I arrive home, I still can't understand him. Here, however, a whole different set of questions awaits me. Much like everything today, it counts with only littles of things. A lone note greets me upon reaching my unit's door. Its edge fluttered lightly against the faint warm breeze passing through the small complex. My hand stops ashore, twisting the knob as I stare at it, though I don't make any moves to take it. Oh no! It's Ash did drop by. Damn! Ash's neat script lines on the surface. Dropped by earlier, you weren't around. Any ideas where the scary cat is? I couldn't contact her. Inspect Abigail was a few questions, LAPD stuff, something about her dead co-worker anyway. Anyway, let me know what the two of you have been doing. I'll see you later, Ash. Smiley face! The message he left, short and straight to the point, but without any other hint with friendship. He's looking for Isabella apparently. Something about LPD's investigation and his co-worker's death. But it ends in a formal tone by checking on me. Us. Any other day, the forward part of this message would likely proud the piercing envy I've been holding, while the letter will probably send me in my part of flatter. Little things from him would I want to mean something more. Yet this time, only guilt fills me and my eyes briefly shifts towards Isabella's empty unit. Luke's words repeat inside my head as I do so.
For what it's worth, Rebecca, I didn't ever think that's all there is to you. Why else would I leave my own goddaughter in your care if you're just some lovesick woman?
Have I always been like this?
Maybe this is a good thing. I don't know. This selfish? In truth, I intended to call Ash after dinner. If I didn't catch him there, invite him to that party I've planned. But there's time, and he's probably awake at around this hour. My hands will move, and perhaps it's for the better. Up until I have the time to think about this through, it's be best if I distance myself for those who I've been clinging tightly to, for a different perspective, and see things for what they are. With a soft sigh, I reach for the note and crumple it under my hand. The doorknob twists open with much ease when I enter this time. Maybe after some introspection, it'll be easier. For tomorrow, I have that woman in the mansion to worry about. The night wears on without any further incident, despite the great number of thoughts swimming in my head. Wait, hold on. I want to see what happened. Oh man, we are gotten quite okay. Question. Oh, we're gonna stump on the question. All right. This one is easy, uneasy, tied with anticipation like a string stretched thin, merely waiting for the proper time to snap. Granted, it doesn't make my day any less pleasant, but the edge is here. And I expected, the second I step out of the flat, it comes apart, broken by the voice of my two scrabbly adults, echoing from the door below. The quiet was nice while it lasted. Shame.
What the hell were you thinking?
I wasn't. Ow! Could you let go?
Now, a few seconds later, they both ascended the stairs, with Ashton pulling Isabel by her wrist. She struggles, as she should, but his hold on her remains firm. Freeing herself means to have draw blood. As she attempts to pry on his hand off with another one. Other one. Oh god, hold on. Dude, my voice is getting worked out. Or using unnecessary force to push yourself away. Neither of which is better than the other. One could potentially end up in an accident, while the other means having to hurt them physically. She has good sense of realizing that, at least. However, it doesn't take the desperate edge in her voice when she inserted Ashton's temper with her own. So on they go, none the wise to my presence.
You have any idea how much trouble you could get in?
That's why I'm asking you for help.
Is this what you've been doing these past 3 days? Because this doesn't make your case convincing, Isabella.
Rose died, Ash.
I know. Every single person in Luxburg knows. It's on the damn news. But that doesn't mean...
People are missing. Some of those are my friends. And BRC's just covering it all up.
You can't just barge into my office and expect me to do anything about it, right off the bat. This isn't a children's game, Isabella. We have procedures. We have to follow protocol. There's red tape all over this case for a reason. We sure as hell don't investigate things just because some stupid letter spooked us.
Oh no.
Ash, you have to believe me this time. If we don't do anything right now, more people will...
It's been a whole week. This stupid letter prank is getting old real fast. I'm sick of it. It was funny the first time, not so much now.
You're the only one that can help me with this, Ash. Even Rebecca won't.
All right, you two are awfully loud. What's going on here?
Both of their heads snap up, almost in unison. A displeased frown is on each of their faces, but this is an unnecessary interruption. What can they do? People still in their units already taking interest in the commotion, with some taking a peek behind the curtains, while others are bold enough to creak open their doors, if only slightly. If they don't keep it down, pretty soon our landlady will show up. Getting a permit from her is the last thing I want to happen. First thing on the Friday morning, even this is hardly my fault.
Well, if you want to continue this, you two better do it elsewhere. You're disturbing other people.
Don't worry, we're done here.
No, we aren't. Becca, I looked it up. I called them. I visited some of them, and...
Which you shouldn't have done in the first place. Isabella, you're going to create more problems for us with what you're doing. A team has already been assigned to it. Leave it to us.
Your precious team is looking at it the wrong way. Becca, it's not just Rose. There are others.
The last bit strikes a chord. Prowl strongly at the memory. The vicious smile already itched deep inside my mind. The image appeared clears it enough that the mere mention of it, I stumble on my own question.
What do you mean?
The letter, Rebecca! It's not...
It's nothing. If there's really something going on because of that dumb letter, none of us would be standing here. We've all read it, haven't we? But Rebecca's alive, Zach's alive, I'm alive. So for the last time, this isn't a curse. There's a murderer on the loose, and your co-workers happen to be the victims. Give it a rest, Isabella. It's too early for this shit.
Don't you think that's too much for a coincidence?
Not so much. Most serial killers follow a pattern. I'll tell you about it some other time. And anyway, coincidence or not, the point is, civilians like you aren't supposed to get involved. You're putting yourself in danger.
I wasn't chasing after...
Will the both of you slow down and stop arguing for a minute? What's this about your co-workers, Belle?
Becca, please don't tell me now you believe this shit.
Sure, in a heartbeat, I agree with Ashton. But that's how it has always been. Besides having a good point, really they're very the same ones that he'll make every time he asks too many questions. But the fact of the matter is, what he wants to hear from me right now is far from what I've been seeing since these past few days. It doesn't matter what Isabella White believes on her own. Something odd has been happening around me, and that letter she picked up is at the heart of this. Oh, so this is the question, alright? However, I respond to this question, the faces, only one of them would be placed with. Well, let's damn, I don't know what this line means, so alright, I'm gonna stop right here. I mean, so I'm tempted to go like I might have seen her just because I want the story completion, but if I do the top, Ashton will be pissed off. I don't know. So let me save, and next time we come back we're gonna pick one. And thank you guys very much for following this far. And my time on doing videos has been cut dramatically short. Like I think I'm only able to pump out maybe one video or maybe 2 videos at most. I mean 2 videos each day, but I really hope I can still pump out 2 videos. But if I don't, you guys don't understand, right? Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, guys. Thank you.